guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Brianna. Welcome to Breland's Books. I'm still petting you. Today, the video that I'm doing was supposed to be a top 5 Wednesday, but then I ended up with 10. I couldn't choose 5, so it's gonna be 10. The topic that I'm doing is book quotes, so it's supposed to be top 5 book quotes. Instead it's gonna be top 11, I think, actually, because I think I have 2 quotes from one book. Because I'm indecisive. I'm not actually going to be reading the quotes from the books because I have them in other various places where they exist. And they're in no particular order. And since there's so many, I'm just going to get right on into it. The first book that I have for you guys today is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. You guys know I love this book. But the quote that I have for The Host is, "Even if we all want you here, you don't belong until you decide you do." And I love that quote because I've moved around a lot. I've been the new kid a lot, and it's really true. Like, you can fit in really well and still not belong somewhere, and you have to decide, like, okay, this is where I am, even if you know it's temporary, and that, like, was really impactful for me. So these are all, like, really, like, motivational, inspirational type of quotes. None of them are, like, funny ones. Just so you're prepared. The next book that I have is The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, and this book has so many good quotes, and so do so many other Rick Riordan books, but the one that I chose is, "If my life is going to mean anything, I have to live it for myself." That is such an important quote because you can do so many amazing things, but if you're not doing them for yourself, and because you are passionate and driven to do them, then it's not as important or amazing as it may seem. Woo! Candle. The next book that I have for you guys is 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray, and you all know how I feel about this trilogy. It's amazing. The quote that I chose from this trilogy is, "Every form of art is another way of seeing the world, another perspective, another window. And science, that's the most spectacular window of all. You can see the entire universe from there." I really like that quote because it's acknowledging that people have different views of different ways that they see the world, and in this case, the multiverse. And it's kind of like how everyone's view from art or science is a different point of view. In the multiverse, there's also infinite possibilities in the multiverse, and just so cool. And yes. If I Stay is an amazing book with so many insightful moments in it, and so many, just the overall concept of the book and choosing to live is so important. But the quote that I chose for this is, "Sometimes you make choices in life and sometimes choices make you." And I think that's really important, just to acknowledge that sometimes you can't always give up control because you don't always have control, and I think that's important to acknowledge, and something that a lot of people really struggle with doing. I want to have control of a situation, so when I don't, it freaks me out, and that's a helpful reminder for me. Just like, there's some ones that I'm not able to be in control of them. So good little reminder for all you out there. The next book that I have for you guys is The 100, and the quote that I have for this one is, "You need to let yourself be happy, or else what's the point?" And that's so important because people in this book, the characters go through so many horrible things and so much loss and so many hardships, but that's just a good point. Like, what's the point of surviving through everything if you don't let yourself be happy and really live your life? And it does, like, I think that's good to acknowledge that there's a choice. At a certain point, you have to stop expecting to be happy, and you have to choose to be happy. And even if you have to fake it till you make it for a little bit, the active choice in your mind of, like, okay, today I'm gonna work, I'm gonna be happier than I was yesterday. Like, that's so important. And I love that it acknowledges the choice of being happy, because a lot of people expect happiness to just, like, come. Like, okay, I suffered long enough. Happiness! But that's not how it works. This is the least surprising thing ever, because everyone loves this quote. Woohoo! Hey, what are you doing? You are too close to my books to be making weird sounds. Okay, this one I can actually find in the book because I have a little marker for it. This is a quote that I think everyone loves, but just has to be acknowledged. "One must always be careful." Okay, singer. "One must always be careful of books and what is inside them, for words have the power to change us." It's true. That's why we read. That's why we do this, and talk about books and watch videos about books. That's why this all happens, because books are so powerful and words are so powerful. That's why we have sayings like the pen is mightier than the sword. If words and literature didn't have weight in who we are and in transforming us, then we wouldn't care as much. That's just some words for you. The next book that I have for you guys is The One by Kiera Cass, and I believe the quote is right here. My quote for The One is, "The best people all have some kind of scar." And that's so important to acknowledge that people, you're gonna deal with some really hard stuff in life, but those burdens and those scars and those wounds are what make you unique and wonderful and amazing. As far as I'm concerned, even if you're still fighting, if you're here and you're fighting the battle, you've won. And that's important. And yeah, the best people all have some kind of scars. Some of us have them on the outside, some of us have them on the inside. I wish I could fly. Okay, little side note. Eleanor and Park. This book is so cute, and this quote that Park, this way that Park describes Eleanor, the way that Park describes Eleanor in this quote is, it needs to be talked about. So I'm gonna talk about it. Eleanor was right. She never looked nice. She looked like art. And art wasn't supposed to look nice. It was supposed to make you feel something. That's so cute. That's so cute and so wonderful. And yes. It's like a new level of complimenting your girlfriend or whatever they were at that time in the story. The next one, you would not expect a lot of encouraging, uplifting quotes to come from this book, but I have two. This is the only book that has two quotes, and it is probably the most depressing book ever, because it's this entire book series is just about a bunch of people dying. But there are two particular things in this third book that I just would like to address for a second. The first one that I would like to talk about from The Last Star says, "Some things, down to the smallest of things, are worth the sum of all things." And that's so important, because in a book, if this were real and we were in like a wasteland of a world where everything we know now has been destroyed, then it's the small things that make us want to keep going and keep living. It's like, there's another part in this book series where Ben talks about the return to normalcy would happen when they heard school bells ringing, because that's the most normal thing in the world. So it's those little things like the school bell ringing. It's the small things that make you want to live. And it's not, it doesn't have to be like a post-apocalyptic world for those to be the focal points. It can just be, your life seems like it's falling apart and like you have nothing to live for. And then all of a sudden someone at the coffee shop pays for your coffee. It's those small little acts of kindness, or small little things like, you don't get the crappy cart at the grocery store or something like that. Those are like, those little things can have such an impact and can be so much more important than everything else as a whole. And I just think that's important and should be addressed. I have one more for this. I'm not done. This one isn't really uplifting. It's just yes. That's the only way I can describe it. She traveled the world and wrote books and took lovers and broke hearts. She didn't allow life to just happen to her. She punched and pummeled and beat the living shit out of it. She mauled it. I'm sorry that I cussed. It's in the quote. It's there. I read that, and there's a whole paragraph that goes with it, but that's the part that I could find on Goodreads, and I just need to get this video done. But when I read that, I was just like, that is what I want. There's a part where she talks about living in some little cabin in Vermont with a dog named Prometheus or some other weird Greek name, because why not? And I just love it. And, she pummeled, the idea of pummeling life and just traveling and writing and just pummeling life. I just love that. And I took a picture of it and I sent it to my friends and I was like, this, yes, woo! And I just got so excited about it. I was like, oh my God. The next one. This is going to be a quote a lot of people have heard, and do I care? No. There's a quote in City of Heavenly Fire that Clary says to little Emma that impacts Emma enough that she remembers it in Lady Midnight, and it's referenced there. And I would like to reference it because it's important, and there's a reason that it made an impact on a character. Heroes aren't always the ones who win. They're the ones who sometimes lose, but they keep fighting, they keep coming back, they don't give up. You are the protagonist of your own story, which in most cases means you are the hero of your own story. And all you have to do to be a real hero is to keep going. So be your own hero and keep going, keep fighting, no matter what. My head itches. I'm going to interrupt your inspirational moment. Book, what? I'm tired, okay? And I've had a lot of caffeine. That's just an important quote. There are certain quotes that, even though they're really common, there's a reason that they're so common, because it's important stuff. I did not go into any Harry Potter quotes. I did not go into any John Green quotes for reasons. I probably could have kept out the Cassandra Clare quotes because those are pretty common too. But we all know the great John Green quotes. And we all know the big ones from Harry Potter too. All those Dumbledore quotes. They're mostly Dumbledore quotes, let's be honest. So I didn't feel the need to address those. I think most of these are a little bit less common. A little bit. I will see you guys on Wednesday for Top 5 Wednesday. Have a good couple of days. Read a good book. Bye. I covered nothing. My camera is not over here. Okay. 1 second. Gotta make a thumbnail. I'm not gonna even try and hold all these books for it. Wait a minute, I can do this. I can do this and be cute. I can do it. Am I doing it? I'm almost doing it. So much fear, so much fear, so much fear. Woo! Did it. Nailed it.